Welcome. Oh,
Welcome. We are live.
Here we go. Here we go.
We're live here with
live.
Risk Raiders.
Now we are live.
This is what it sounds like out there live. Hello, hello, hello. Anybody out there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Hey, we're live, and who gives a crap? But we're glad to be here today at Risk Raiders. You have joined us on an inaugural live event. It's what, two of us watching, right? I didn't even tell my wife to watch. There we go. She wouldn't have watched anyway. All right. Anyway, we are Risk Raiders. We're glad to have you to today's podcast. Remember, Risk Raiders is two seasoned agents who own their own insurance agencies who are just barely smart enough to talk about insurance. Therefore, anything that you learn on this podcast, this is just for entertainment and information only. This is not professional advice. This is not legal advice or attorney advice. You need to get your own insurance agent involved. Our job is to educate you to be a better buyer or even to be a better risk manager of your home and business. But we are not your agent. We do not want to give you advice. So therefore, you know, who knows? Call somebody else is all we're trying to say, right?
We're just throwing some thoughts your way.
Yeah, call the dude or the lady dude who you're paying already and go, hey, I just learned some stuff. And then you're going to be the smartest person around. You're going to save some money. I am Jeff Shropshire. That is my buddy over there, Brent Borgstedte. How are you, Mr. Borgstedte?
I am guns up today. It's all good. It's
I'm not really...
We're experiencing some cooler weather here in Houston, which is very nice. Supposed to get some rain tomorrow. We've actually not had any rain in about 8 weeks. It's unusual
really?
for Houston. Yeah, oh my gosh, terrible drought. And we're hoping to get an inch of rain tomorrow, unfortunately on a Saturday, but boy, we'll take it anytime right now.
Yeah, it's going to monsoon to the south of us towards the Dallas Metroplex. So again, this weather forecast has been brought to you by Brent Borgstedte and GBS Insurance, keeping you dry and safe. Exactly. There's no way to keep you dry down there. I was in Austin, and I'm like, I look like I had an afro walking around. I mean, it just turns my hair. I wake up in the morning, and I'm like, when did I become part of, you know, the 70s rock movement? And
well, your hair might have just been reacting to the fact that you were in Austin, and it was like, I'm going to go crazy.
We stayed with my daughter, and it was great. We had a wonderful stay. It was fun, you know, getting ready for the wedding and everything like that. But then she texted my wife last night, I don't know, about 10 o'clock, and said, as soon as y'all left, the air conditioner went out.
Working overtime.
And I was thinking, cool. Man, you just saved me about $1,200 with hotel bills right there. Because I would have been like, oh, that's a shame. Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have to go now.
Guess what? Mr. Marriott has air conditioning, and I will be visiting them soon. So anyway, I've been on the road driving through, man, Brent, I've been driving through ranch country. You know, from Lubbock to Dallas, it's just, I'm no Austin. I don't even know where I've been. Beautiful country right now.
I bet you saw lots of crops and critters. And
I saw crops and critters and all sorts of stuff. I saw a lot of Diet Coke. I mean, I drank a ton of Diet Coke. I mean, I think it was a record. I mean, if there was a Sonic, again, they're not sponsoring this podcast, and we'd be glad if they would, or any other place. I mean, it was a pit stop. It took me 12 hours to make a 6-hour drive. It was one of those.
I'd have overdone the Diet Coke a little bit.
Yeah, I forgot my age there a little bit. But it was great. It was beautiful. And I'm glad I don't live in Austin. It was good to visit Austin for a second to see family. But other from that, I got the heck out of there as quickly as I could.
Place. I mean, there's lots of fun stuff to do, and they've got some decent food over there. And, you know, if you like live music, that's allegedly the capital of it. I think Nashville might say, we have some live music here, too. But
news stories for that. You know, it was good. I had some really great Mexican food. I did. It was some of the best.
So go to Matt's El Rancho?
We went to Matt's El Rancho. Again, free plug for Matt's. I had first time to be there. It was absolutely phenomenal.
It was really your first time?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, we go around and do some of the little more eccentric places when I go. My daughter and soon to be son-in-law likes to, you know, they take us around stuff, but then they took me there on my birthday, which was amazing. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm just going to tell you, I got the tacos al Cabón. And that tenderloin or whatever is in there, I don't think I've ever tasted anything that good. It was really that good.
That place is fantastic. We used to go there all the time when we had our lake place over in Lakeway, and we would drive into town to go there. I mean, it was a special treat, and I don't know. I mean, there's lots of good Mexican food places here in Houston, obviously, but
yeah, well,
boy, I'm telling you, I still think about Matt's all the time. So, in fact, somebody was over there. I can't remember who was calling me like, "Hey, my youngest son was going to go to Austin to visit some friends," and he's like, "Hey, can you think of a Mexican food place?" And I'm like, duh.
Yeah, let me think.
Matt's El Rancho. I mean, come on, man.
Hey, dumbass, wake
like,
up.
Oh yeah. So
it was. I mean, it was so good, and we got there a little early, so we didn't have to wait in line. But if you go, I know you're gonna. It was getting crowded even in the middle of the week when we were there. It was fantastic, and then they took me to a speakeasy. I haven't been to a speakeasy. Can I even speak about the speakeasy? I don't even know if I can even say where I went. It's a speakeasy.
I think if you know where it is, you're not supposed to say.
Yeah, I'm just going to tell you, I hear they have some speakeasies, and I ended up in one.
Did it have a secret door to go into it from another
It is
room
one of those things that you go through a different type of restaurant to end up in the speakeasy. It was really,
like it.
Oh, it was awesome. And the cool thing is they, my daughter had warned me, so I left mine at the place, but they take up your cell phone. You can't take your cell phone. When you walk in, you have to put them in a locker. You're not allowed to take your cell phones in there, which was so cool because you don't realize how many times you just like, or somebody is.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I walked in there and it's like flashing back to the 80s. People are talking.
Yeah. Real interaction.
There was a guy I was watching him. He was a hand talker. And I mean, he was talking so hard with his hands. And then the girl that he was with would try to match him. You know, she'd be like, da-da-da, and then she'd get tired and she'd put her arms down and he just wore her out. It was like a butterfly mating season going on over there. It was cool though, but man, people were having a good time. It was kind of that dark, low light with a little jazz in the back. I didn't belong. I stuck out like a sore thumb, but I loved every minute of it. It's great. You know, I may even have to change my mind about Austin if I get to go to places like Matt's and this place. I didn't even know these places existed. I thought I was just looking for a place that you had to wear shoes and you didn't have to take your dog.
No,
that's all I said.
Of course,
I said, no, you know my thing with flip. I said, take me somewhere where I don't have to order off a wall or side of a truck, which those places are fine, but I just didn't want to do it. You know, it's hot.
Yeah, no.
And then I don't want to be sitting there next to somebody's Lhasa Apso. I just wanted that. And it's
get the dog to the restaurant.
It's a big thing there, and I know it. And I'm a visitor. I've got to blend in, but I just made that request, and they took me to Matt's. Kudos to my son-in-law and to my daughter because that was amazing. And my future, son-in-law's family bought my dinner, which was so nice of them. So I mean, I had a great time. But driving back yesterday was beautiful. It was pretty. The ranch country looks good. Crops, some of them are looking good with cotton. It's a good time to be driving around West Texas in the hill country. This is when you want to do it.
I'll tell you, I miss seeing a cotton field. I know it sounds silly, but boy, when I lived in Lubbock, you know, you get used to seeing them, and when that cotton comes in, it's beautiful. I mean, it's really a cool thing. I mean, you know, it's money on the bush. It sounds
like
there.
Cha-ching to the economy.
You're like, wow, the guys are going to kill it this year.
Oh, get
it's beautiful to see.
All the Ford and Chevrolet dealerships are going, yes, this is,
You see that cotton? I mean, you understand when you see that, you know what it means to be in high cotton. I mean,
I'm going to tell you, if you're a farmer or rancher, my hat's off to you because that is I've met some really, some folks around here in the Slayton area, especially, and I've gotten to meet them more. And, it's funny, I don't know that much. Growing up here, you'd think I'd know more about agriculture, but you can be insulated inside the city because we have Texas Tech, we have health sciences center. I mean, it's a different economy here. We have a lot of things, but ag drives it. But when you get with these folks and you get to meet them and then you really learn the process and stuff, I mean, it takes a lot of cojones to be a farmer. I mean, the work, it's just an amazing deal. I have nothing but total respect for those folks out there. It's just to rely on what happens in the weather and everything is just, I'd have a heart attack.
Man, they borrow tons of money every year to bring that crop in, and then really almost all of the variables are out of their control.
I know.
You have no no control over everything. You're just basically sitting there with your ass hanging out going, oh, I hope it rains, because if it doesn't, we're going to go broke.
Yeah.
And like you say, my hat's off to those guys. And not to mention the fact that it's incredibly hard work.
Yeah.
And it never stops. It's not a job you ever finish. Like every day, you just work till you can't work anymore. And then you go home and sleep and come back the next day and it's in a whole nother pile. And you're like, God bless America. Here we go.
I know. I know.
I'm like you. What an incredible person it must take to stay in that business. I mean,
I know. And to do families after families. And some of these folks up here have been doing it, multi-generations and just great people. But, talk about really hard work. And it is funny. You didn't hear the stories, but then to see the technology coming into it, and you start seeing all the equipment, and you start seeing all the stuff.
GPS tractors that drive themselves and all that.
Yeah,
cool
but
stuff.
I would always bust people. Oh, it just drives itself. Well, it does.
A lot more to it than that.
It does, but like
still a lot.
Especially right now, the cotton gins are starting to gin the cotton, and I mean, pretty soon in the next few podcasts, I will not be able to breathe. I'll just be sitting here going, "Hey, yeah, it's really great to be here." It's going to be one of the. We'll all be like, "Oh, this is sponsored by I don't know, Claritin or Benadryl."
Yeah, whatever.
This is sponsored.
That really brings up some great topics for us today too, because there's a lot of risk in rural activities, whether it's farming or whether it's ranching or whether it's you having a weekend place or whatever. I mean, there's so much going on in those places. And, here in Houston, believe it or not, we write a lot of farm and ranch coverage because a lot of our clients over the last 20, 30 years have gone out and bought these, what we call gentleman farms or whatever,
right.
or weekend places up in Brenham and all in any direction going away from Houston. There's beautiful places to have 10, 12, 20, 50 acres and do your own thing out there and have some peace and quiet and build a nice house. But the funny thing is, people go out and you think, oh, I'm just going to have a weekend place, and you think it's going to be a little shack, a little Unabomber shack. And no, they go out there and build like a $2 million McMansion out there, and they've
dream
got
homes
more
out there,
tractors and equipment and RVs than a working farm. And
I know.
And it's like, holy crap, dude, what is all this stuff?
I don't know. Yeah, let me show you this. So I took some pictures for you.
Nice. I love
Brent's going to lead us down the farm and ranch road today, but I took some pictures on our way back. I did not get a cotton crop because the cotton was really coming up here closer to Lubbock. And then it started to rain when I was driving. And I got to be honest with you, after the Diet Cokes and stuff, I had to focus. And so I didn't do it, but let's see if this works. And because we want people to know, and we're talking about farm and ranch, there's a lot of things that come with it. You mentioned the house. You mentioned all that stuff. Now, my wife put this together for me because she's great. I'm going to see if this works.
Okay, let's
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying new technology here, and that's just the way it is. Let's go to it. See if this pops up here.
It's a technology show.
Hey, looky there.
Oh, man.
There's a little farmhouse, and if you notice, you see the blur? That's a farmhouse at 78 miles per hour.
You weren't driving in.
I was driving, and my wife took I'm a risk manager. I did not do that picture.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. I was like,
it's a little blurry, but if you look over there, it's got a little bit of the little, maybe a little golf cart over here, a little stuff going over there. That's why all these things are all so different. Oh, hey, look at that. Look what I found here.
I know, man.
Oh, I don't know if I can zoom in on that.
Little silo.
Oh, yeah.
Hay bales.
Silo.
I love those round hay bales.
There's your hay bales. Brent was like, I got to have a hay bale. And I'm like, yeah, no problem.
Those are cool, too. Whoa.
Sorry.
That's too
Sorry
much
about that, folks.
right there.
That was brought to you by Diet Coke.
Are you leaning forward to see that silo?
I didn't know that was in there, but look how green that grass is, right, ladies and gentlemen?
It's going to be greener next week. Too,
oh, yeah. That was one that was darn close to not making it. There we go. Another little silo. Oh, look at what's on the silo.
Oh, look at that. Got a little double T up there.
I know. I pass this place every time. driving from Sweetwater to Brownwood. I passed this, and this guy's had this up there forever. And he has this whole farm and all this stuff. He's got his whole equipment, everything around. He keeps it so neat, but that is facing the highway, literally. And every time I'm driving by, I'm like, that is just awesome,
Man, that's such a great example of farm and ranch coverage right there in that picture. You've got things that you can't insure any other way. I mean, you can buy one of those commercial ag policies, and I'm sure some of these guys with these big commercial farms do, but if you're an individual and you go out and buy a weekend place, we can write what's called a farm and ranch policy or farm and ranch owners policy.
Yeah.
I think it's the coolest policy in insurance because it's like a Swiss Army knife of a policy. You can literally do anything on these policies, from just writing a little home and a garage to you can go completely wild and have everything that was in that picture. You can add silos and barns and loafing sheds and pole barns and
I like Quonset huts. I always thought I've always wanted a Quonset hut, just to be able to say, yeah, I'm going to go to the Quonset.
Yeah,
and I'm going to take care of some stuff.
To a farm and ranch policy, you can schedule all your tractors. You can add livestock. I mean, there is literally nothing. You can schedule beehives. I mean, the whole 9 yards. Anything you're doing out there, you can add to a farm and ranch policy, which is so cool because it's like a homeowners policy and an inland marine floater liability all rolled into one.
Yeah.
And
you know what?
Cool.
I don't know if you see this with your customers or whatever, but a lot of the time now, of course, when we were talking about the professional farmer and all that, those are going to be a little bit more commercialized and, these. But if you're out there and you're going to buy some land, you either want to hunt or you want to have that place that you were talking about with a few acres to escape and all that. What I've always found out is the whole thing never stays the way you first start off. Have you noticed, like, somebody goes, man, if I could just get just a piece of land, I just drop a mobile home out. I just need a place to go sit out there. Some folks out here like a place to go out there and pop off some guns, or just to go sit, and enjoy the nature and all. Yeah, and then about 2 years later, they have the $2 million home. Right. They have the barn. They have to have the ATVs, and I'm just saying that a lot of time when they start this dream, and they kind of start with this flat palette of an idea. But I've noticed that people who have the ranches and then they even decide to start getting into some commercial thing. Let's put some cattle on here.
Yeah.
Let's rent it out or buy some ourselves. It always seems to turn into a bigger venture, because once you get out there, you start going, oh, I could do that. I mean, I get it. And I'm not making fun of that, but it would be the thing that if you start it, if you started with just a little pot, you're going to have to really stay in touch, with your agent.
Absolutely. On
everything that you're wanting to do out there, because those policies are not set and ride. Those are, you need to.
Nothing's fixed on them.
It is. And if our folks out there are listening to this and you have one of those, you've constantly added, you've constantly dreamed, you've changed some things, you've done some things, you put more money into it than you ever thought you would. And it's great.
And you've got a lot more exposure out there than you ever thought about.
You do, because then you want to take people out, you want to entertain, and it's all great. But, if you're not careful, you could get ahead of what your coverage could be. And if you're choosing to do it by insurance, and I think you got to really plan it out. So what would you tell somebody, Brent, like, hey, I've got it and my policy's renewed a few times. I haven't really had much conversation. What would be some areas you'd tell them to get with their agent on?
Here's how it starts. A lot of times, most people will go buy this piece of land, and like a lot of times, they don't talk to their agent. They just go buy this piece of land, and which is fine when it's vacant. It's usually covered under your homeowner's policy automatically if it's vacant of any structures. Now, if you buy one and the Jones family left grandpa's house on it, that's still there. Well, that's not automatically covered. It's got to be added to a policy. But people won't buy a policy. They don't even think about it. They think, oh, I'm out in the country. I don't have to worry about anything. A lot of times it'll come up, when we're talking to them at renewal about their homeowners, we'll say, well, have you got any, have you guys bought any RVs, anything else we need to talk about? And they're like, oh, we did buy a place in the country. And you're like, well, yeah, that's something we need to talk about. And you'll say the first question is, well, does it have any structures on it? And they'll say, well, yeah, we built a house. And you're like, well, tell me more. And, before you end the conversation, like, well, we got a house and then we built one of those Mueller metal buildings that we have our tractors in and our RVs and our mule and our, the Kawasaki mule. And and we've got we do have mowers and then we've also got and we've got we bought some of those expensive deer blinds that we put out there, that are $25,000 a piece with the escalator going up to them and air conditioning and all that. And you're like, well, yeah, we need to talk because,
Don't forget the llamas and the monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some llamas and some monkeys.
Exotic animals, right? You're like, oh, yeah, well, we do have a giraffe.
Yeah.
And,
you can see him from here.
$25,000 for that giraffe,
Wow,
too.
crazy
You're
little...
like, well, might want to think about that. And that's not all covered on my homeowners? Nope.
Not the ones I've seen. That's again, call your agent and ask them, and please do it in person so you can watch their face.
Yeah.
That's what you need to do, folks. Is when if you feel like that you're a little bit behind on this, you need to go into the office, knock on the door, say, hey, I have a question for you. Giraffes, monkeys, llamas, and deer blinds with elevators. Am I good? And just watch the face. Watch the face of, oh my God. Another thing too, I have people where they've inherited these things.
Yes.
That's another big thing is that you might have thought that uncle, it may not, if it was like really close in your family, you knew all about it, but you might not have known that an uncle or aunt or somebody, like when they passed away, they left you this and you really didn't know much about it. You didn't do much about it. And they've left you this thing and you have no idea what comes with that. Or you kind of think, well, if they had it, it must be okay. We can do this. And that's when you need to pick up the phone, make some calls.
Because, the other thing is we're talking about the property exposure, the building and barns, but honest to God, the real trouble on a weekend place, in my opinion, is liability. Because
always.
You're taking guests out there, especially children. You're taking, you bring your friends and their kids come out with them, and you're out riding around in the RVs, and there might be some drinking involved, and then you're hunting or shooting. And hunting and shooting are two different things, by the way. We used to go down to the deer camp all the time, and we would just what I would call ride around and shoot stuff. Or you're just riding around.
What do they call it? Plunking? Is it plunking?
Yeah, plunking. You're right.
Yeah, plunking. You just go out and whatever pops a head up, you try to take it out.
Yeah, you're drinking a few beers and you're riding around. You're like, hey, look at that over there. You see? Can you hit that rock? It's about 500 yards away. And you're like, I think I can do it. And that's what you're doing.
That's kind of Elmer Fuddish right there. I liked it.
I know.
Can you do that again for us?
But you're out there doing that, and you've got people who are not familiar with the environment, and they've got their kids there, and anytime you got guns and alcohol and vehicles all mixed together, something
called NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly. It's like NASCAR. It's like NASCAR.
You have an F1 Formula race or NASCAR.
Yeah.
You're in Nashville if that happens.
But it's tremendously dangerous on those kind of places, especially with people who don't come out there. They're all excited and they want to shoot.
Or just riding horses. Hey, I've got some horses. Hey, I've always wanted to ride a horse.
Oh, yeah. I've never done that.
It sounds great. And again, we're not discouraging these things, but you got to think about it. Because you're going to get a lot of people on these properties who have no experience with it. And that's what makes it so fun. And then they also tend to be a little bit more pushing the boundaries a little bit because you're out in the open. You feel like you're out of the world of the police and it's free range, do whatever you want to do sort of thing. And because we kind of think that way. We get out in the country and we're like, thank God, I just do whatever I want. You can, but if you're the owner of that land, you need to understand that anything that happens on that land is on you.
The Texas laws are pretty friendly towards the property owner. I mean, as far as they can be, but if somebody gets hurt on your place, you're on the hook. I'm sorry. And we've had some really tragic stories where people have had guests and whatnot that have gotten hurt pretty seriously on their place. And man, it ends up in the courthouse because, a lot of times, even if they don't want to sue you, they turn it into their health insurance. Like, oh, my daughter got injured. We had a friend, a client that had some friends out, and one of the girls lost a leg. because
Oh,
they turned over one of those Kawasaki mules. They're out riding around too fast and turned it over, and fell. It was bad, but that ended up getting into the umbrella and all that. Thankfully, they had one, because let's say they say, "Oh, I'm not going to sue," but you turn it into your health insurance carrier. Guess what? They're going to subrogate. So
right.
they're coming after you. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. You're probably going to end up on the hook long term. And so you've got to treat these liability exposures. You can't pretend like they don't exist or ignore them, because that's really, it's, in my opinion, a lot riskier than operating a home without coverage. You operate in a farm without coverage, or a ranch without coverage, and you're out there riding around with guns and drinking and with guests and children. It's a disaster waiting to happen, and everyone's careful. I know it's all good, but you've got to deal with those exposures. You've got
Yeah,
to.
and for the folks out there who have commercial farms and commercial ranching operations, you might be a little bit more knowledgeable about it. But one of the things you need to really review your policy. It's kind of like the things we've talked about in the other. These policy forms do change. A lot of things change. Your equipment has changed. Your exposure changes. If it's the earth, it's changing all the time. There's always something. You may have taken on a new type of production. You may be doing some other things. You may be spraying things that you weren't spraying before. That's why you guys in the professional side as well, y'all need to spend as much time talking with those agents of yours. Sometimes like here in the crops, everybody's talking about crop insurance. I don't know anything about crop insurance. That's a specialized deal. But if it comes to your property, your liability, and all the other things it takes to run it, you really need to spend some time every year, because it is just like we talked about on the other policies. Set it and forget it is going to be not good for your commercial business as well.
No.
And that can happen just as well, because the mindset, whenever we're dealing out in farms and ranches, sometimes we have that mindset like it's fine, it's good, they'll be taken care of. It's changed for you as much as it's changed for other people, as we've talked about on some of these other podcasts. So have a good time with it, but man,
I'll tell you the last
go
thing
through
I'll
it.
say about this farm and ranch too is people don't think about the work comp exposure out there too, because they get people to come out there and do work for them. Or as in Texas and other places, it's called custom farming, where you basically rent a guy and his equipment to come out and like cut your hay and bale it. Well, that guy's coming onto your premises with heavy equipment. And first of all, let's check about, see whether those guys have insurance. But more importantly, you probably need to think about having a work comp policy. And it can be, if any, with no payroll, but you need to have some kind of coverage in the event that you hire somebody to come out to your place and do some work and they get hurt, which can happen.
Yeah, it's the cover your butt policy is what it is.
I mean, and none of this stuff now. Farm and ranch policy is expensive. I'm not going to lie about that. Those things are very expensive.
Right.
And if you've got expensive structures and lots of scheduled equipment, that can be an expensive policy. But this workers' comp I'm talking about, this costs almost nothing. And man, it can save your ass in a bad situation. If somebody comes out there and gets hurt, you will be like, oh, thank God I've got that policy. So again, like Jeff said, this is stuff you need to talk about with your agent every year. Hey, we added a building to our farm. Oh, by the way, we've been leasing it for cattle, and that guy comes out all the time with his trucks, and he also going to cut the hay for us, and all these things.
And all this equipment is so expensive, and sometimes you may have the some of the coverage through some of the dealerships. You need to go through and figure that out. You need to get that form out and go, what does that actually cover? I mean, you got a loan on most of that stuff. Does it properly cover you and protect your assets? Because we're here to cover your assets. That's what we do.
And the last thing I'll say, I know I said the work comp was last thing, umbrellas need to really be looked at in the farm and ranch situation, because a lot of umbrellas do not go over farm and ranch. You have to buy a farm umbrella. So don't assume that your personal umbrella, it can, but it doesn't automatically go over your farm or your weekend place or whatever. So again, need to talk to your agent about that.
Yeah, you need to get out there and do it, folks. Risk Graders want you to be safe. We want you to be in charge of your own destiny, but you've got to get the awareness and you got to get the people involved who need to be involved.
Yep.
And that's the way to do it, man.
All right. And
You
we're about
taught
to
me a
run
lot
out of
today.
time. Yeah, we had a good day on the farm and ranch. We're
I
about
think
to
I'd
run
like
out
to
of
go get a
clock.
ranch. Not really. I
know,
would be
me
the
too.
absolute worst. I mean, it'd
Yeah.
be, there's probably a law that says I can't have one. And I think it's probably a good law.
Probably a good law.
I
All right,
wouldn't be
since
good
we're
at that.
about out of time, we got to talk about our Red Raiders. You know,
Okay.
double guns here.
We took a smack in the face last week.
Man,
On a lot of things.
I wasn't mad until the end. You know, like I thought we were going to lose the whole day. And then at the end, we come back and take the lead. And I was like, yes. I mean, I'm screaming, of course, throwing things around the room. And then
It's like they say in England, it's the hope that kills you.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, we're going to win this thing. And I was like, oh, we're going to win. He scored. And our defense has played pretty good all day. Surely we can hold them a minute left to go. And nope. Cannot.
Not.
And I was really crushed. I was depressed all day Saturday and Sunday. I had a hard time getting out of bed. But anyway, this week we're playing Oklahoma State, and I don't think this is their best year or best team. So hopefully we can recover.
That's what scares me the most.
I know, me too.
That's the worst.
Hope they're not looking past this game.
I swear, I hope Texas Tech is telling everybody, look, this team is the best, because they could be tomorrow. I mean, I'm just telling you, you cannot overlook anybody in the Big 12.
Dude,
I hope we're not.
I was in Lubbock was for an Oklahoma State game. We played them at home, and they beat us like 70-0.
Oh, I know. They've historically just used us as a toilet paper.
At home.
I know.
So
I mean, they're the scariest ones for me. I have no confidence. And that has nothing to do with my team. But I'm just telling you, you have to take every one of these things seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times as Tech, when we've sucked in the past, you walked in and you just blew somebody up, you know? I mean, that's the fun thing to do. If I was OSU, I'd be like, we can blow. I mean, who's the pressure on this week, you know?
I know, and I would say it's on us. I know we're probably favored big time in this game, but
I saw something over 30 points, which is just
insane.
It's insane. I would never even put that. If I was the coach, I'd be out there going, "This is a lie."
We are not. At that.
I would never allow that to be published.
Yeah, I would look at the players and say, "Don't even think about that. You guys got your ass handed to you last week by somebody you were supposed to beat too, and so don't think that you're golden in this game." I'm hoping we're going to come out and fire, you know, on all cylinders early and have 14 points before the first 10 minutes are up and be rolling.
You mean through my first beer? I want to be through the first beer and go, oh.
Exactly.
And then I'll be going to the restroom going, look at that score over there. As I'm still dodging tortillas. I know tortillas have been banned.
I think a tortilla thing's
They've been
over,
banned,
man.
but you know, it's going to be.
Tortilla era is over.
That's what they say. But, you know, I think college kids always respect authority, and I don't expect to see any tortillas. Whoa, you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, you shocked me.
Had a little
with that
blurp on me there.
authority. I was like,
Yeah, it's going to be, I'm sure it's going to be civil. Everybody just seems to follow rules here. So it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, sure they do.
I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, it's going to be.
I'm not condoning it, but
No, of course not.
But anyway. I will be watching it. I'll be right in the thick of it.
We need to wrap it up. We're over time.
Oh, so, okay.
Everybody, guns up.
Guns up, everybody.
Great weekend. It's going to rain here, hopefully, but hope everybody has a great weekend. Hope your team wins.
Be safe.
Be safe. Have fun. Talk to you guys all next week. Thanks for watching.
Wreck 'em.